that pot, that's kind of how it's done. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, those are cute. Some people do that. Just like, okay, she's doing 15 minutes of stuff. Even if it's like coaching like the sports and stuff, she does all the 12 or 15 minutes. Might as well just throw it out there.
Yeah. The guy, one is done. Come back in the printer. It's a sunlight too.
Those are the injections. Yeah.
She's like a poet from like the old New College.
You're just
Well,
jealous.
or like a lot.
Just jealous.
Not all of them, but a lot of these people cross paths there.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Started
teacher. Yeah. Like, I was on my knees for like 4 hours. But it's the bending of the knees, right? Just being putting pressure on that.
I fell off. Yeah, a little high.
Did you go?
I'm glad to see it. Hang out for a second. It's fun to.
I got a good guy. I want a guy.
That's kind of my impression. Somebody was asking me.
No.
What's it do poetry if I'm in town for like a day? And I'm like, I don't know. Because it's all not a cohesive scene in the same way because LA is so non-cohesive.
Well, it's like so vast, right? It's like a city and it's within multiple cities.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like, institutions, we don't have the same, you know? It's weird because they're about to, pick another poet laureate for
There used to be like a church, like Telegraph,
it's just not clear. Usually it's church.
I think he's like up to no good. What are you trying to do? I'm trying to sabotage.
Oh, I see. Well, no, that's true. Well, I can tell for a second right there. But this one you just read from here. It's a nice one. But I'll get you a mic on.
Yeah, even New York, you can zip from Brooklyn. It'll take you hour tops to do something. But it take you way longer.
You know, I was like so fascinated with the amount of bookstores I was able to like get in touch with while I was up there because the train system was just good.
Yeah, oh, it's amazing.
A little bit. I actually just got a job.
And they have like a good scene out there for expats.
Yeah, like I read it. Some a few years back, and there was like this whole English speaking diaspora.
I don't know, man. I don't think so. I don't think they had anything. They don't have anything to do with actually the city.
No, we went to a dinner party among such folks, so there's a bilingual dinner party where not everybody speaks English and not everybody speaks French. And I can only I can follow the movement. I can't really have some kind of a conversation. Yeah. But it was a great, it was kind of like a French thing. It's kind of amazing, one of the most amazing parties that I've been to. It seemed very sort of inside Paris type of.
Have you thought about writing that into the novella at all? Or is it too fast for whatever people?
I could write about it. I don't think it would intersect with I can use it because it's not the right season. Because like I had these boots that I last time I had to go to New York in the winter, which was like 2015, so they're like disintegrating boots already, and I literally never wore them after that trip, so they're just been sitting in my apartment.
It blew up like 3 times.
Gallery desk, and they just fell apart. And I was at the Chelsea when like as my heel, sitting at a table, stretched out my leg, my heel, and suddenly the whole sole comes off, not fully off, like so it's connected like a toe. But like, yeah, it's like every step, like walking through that place was hilarious. But like every step had this kind of weird slap to it. Oh my god.
Oh shit.
It was fun.
You had to get new shoes, right? Or did you get like
I got, no, I got new shoes. Because, the decision to make to get new shoes had already happened, I believe. They'd already fallen apart enough. So that was when they were like, I'm gonna get like shoes first thing in the morning. But within a block where I could buy a pair of Timberlands, so something like this. I wish I had known earlier in the trip because it would have been easier to have these.
That's what happened to me. I told them the first time. So I bought these tennis shoes and they just
That must have been.
they disintegrated as soon as I got there because they don't. They really do to bring it right foot to
But yeah, this thing still lives online. Out there.
Yeah.
I love the area here. Yes.
It's showing up, you know.
Oh yeah.
Smooth. It takes a licking and still keeps
That's
ticking.
right. I've seen them used for hammers as hammers. Yeah, when you don't have a hammer. SM58. I like 57 if I'm using a hammer. Oh really? You like the plastic head? Okay. It's amazing. You do you.
But so your mom is still here, okay?
Yeah, she's okay. But we're not getting along right now. A lot of tension. And it just seems all the change in our family, the dynamics. It's just like I'm not talking to her, she's not talking to me. I just feel like like as soon as you're trying to finish something, and we're writers, our brains working a certain way.
Yeah.
I don't think they understood like the amount of attention that we need.
Yeah.
So, I think my mom got so used to me like catering to her, taking care of her.
Yeah.
But when she was supposed to start taking care of herself, and I was kind of, bringing
Yeah.
myself off, she was like, oh, fuck, I gotta
Yeah.
finish this thing. I gave it to you for my life, lady. You're right. We'll be alright.
What do you mean you trust that?
Where's what part of your place?
Pico Union.
I don't really know.
It's like a little bit past the Carter Park.
I think you should have
Which is like the entrance is downtown, but you can catch the freeway to go to like Venice and UCLA and shit. But the fires
It works.
everywhere. So there's so many
I'm gonna play guitar.
downtown is like packed with zombie land.
Are you doing it with anybody else or you just by yourself?
Like they don't
With viewing.
Yeah.
That'll pick up a bit.
Okay.
I mean, if you're just standing, this
They
is
came and fucked that place up.
Great.
rain, so you just want to ready yourself. Whatever, right?
Minneapolis. These guys are fucking psycho.
Yeah.
I mean, I could give you an amp.
And the crazy part is like
No,
nobody is
that's
gonna
fine.
have the Olympics.
It'll get
So I
into the
don't know
stream.
how
This is really just to get it into the stream.
You know, it's like and then Karen Bass.
But,
Jesus
guitar's not
Christ,
gonna
they're
make
all
or break
just
it
like
But he used that for good, you know. So like I can't, I don't have any illusions about the dude, but I'm that impressed with him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just because I'm grateful. Because fuck it, I want all those things,
Even if their organization has
They're all like incognito
mission,
too. Like
you know, like
travel in
people
packs,
have
but they
saved
don't have
today.
to like announce themselves.
Right, yeah. I don't think it's really good. Together in my head. Just reach, I can reach this. I mean, when I 've been yelling at people online, from the comfort of my own home. Dispelling all of the I'm on the music side. Yeah. I think I'm reaching good. So I've been trying the free demo on it. Somehow they linked it up and have like credits specialized. These jazz songs do that. Click a button. This person, it's like, why has Spotify never done that? They don't want to. That's probably true. Yeah, I fell out.
We will worship the Lord.
That was delightful. Yeah, what a nice little pick-me-up. It is. It is a little pick-me-up.
Well, we're hoping that
Yeah, regulation.
Why wouldn't he come? He's on the fucking...
He's on the thing.
Is he still the one?
No, not in his
there's so many ways to say something in English.
I think that's still fine. You got the book from the one on Shattuck?
They'll get it across.
No, the one on Telegraph was turned in for.
And so we can't.
Oh, you're right. It wasn't.
Yeah.
That part, like, it was intuitive. It's not any punch cards at all. It's intuitive.
It's not alphabet.
No, I
Yeah.
The last punch card I had was for juice appeal. Smoothies.
Yeah,
And
I
I
remember
used to
Juice
get-
Appeal. That doesn't exist anymore?
Well, that's some ingredients and all of the recipes had all
Goblin.
mangled.
Yeah, Goblin.
But I tried it out.
Yeah, because I hate green people. So, right?
Are
Are you with me?
When it comes to cheese.
The silly characters. Hey, whoops. No, yeah, just and then it goes down. I have like punches. I get a big one on the 10. And I went and brought that. I hung in the ground to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
I was
You're like, that's it, I'm out.
I was the events manager on to write 2 lines of text.
Yeah.
And I said, this is not a good use of my time.
You're nuts.
I got work to do. I've got to
The information is not, it's not conveying
manage
information.
events.
So you didn't like quit, like walk out the door for the last time.
No.
Leave. You just left the meeting. Okay,
I left the
sorry.
meeting.
I thought you were like, yeah, we're done. You idiots can't write 2 sentences in an hour. I'm done.
It was just, I mean, it was such a bad example. I mean, a good example of how, how they operated. It's like, just do some shit. Stop talking. Yeah.
That memory, seriously. Well, I understand. Anything, anytime I got anywhere close to anything, where you can't, and it goes through these multiple maps and multiple people reading it, and I mean, inevitably, it's gonna fall apart. And I can't stand it. Language, it's like water, all like water. But people that do it, I mean, that's the reason that people have to actually become professional, professional people.
people trying to decide which abstract scroll logo they like, you know? This is not gonna end well. That looks like dog shit. Of course, everybody has some association or reference. The intern is from Guatemala. Schools are evil. So we can't do a squirrel logo now. We're gonna have to go back and focus group again, which animals.
And that means that the squirrel font isn't gonna work either.
Squirrel font.
So we gotta
I know.
I just made a huge cover of a magazine that says squirrel.
Or logos are the worst.
Yeah.
Trying to make some tiny little symbol like it.
Okay, so how many times did the word light bulb come up in the logo discussion of football?
Yeah, see, it hasn't started yet, so that's
Just
all.
what for me?
I'm gonna
Do me
say
a favor.
13.
13? I think it'll be because they won't know what to say. They won't know how to behave. They'll be like, no, I don't want to die.
I have to do it. It's me and nobody else.
I feel pretty proud of you. Use both of them.
I don't know what to do. I'm a little
I asked Eric to put that one up there so I could take it off the stand.
okay.
Because the other one I couldn't. I was like,
Yeah, no, that's all like screwed in there and stuff.
See if you're a bit amplified through that condenser mic.
This one over here, the fancy one. I don't know. Oh, yeah, it sounds amplified. Definitely. Tell me when you're ready for me to actually stop just babbling. Okay, I'll babble in this one, and it doesn't sound like it's doing anything at all. I'm trying to talk. Oh, there we go. Then it gets closer. It gets louder. You move your face away. It gets quieter. You get a little closer.
We've got the basics of a thing here. I'm good, so take it away.
Has anybody ever worked with their father?
yeah, I had. Tell us about
Y'all don't know heaven until you've worked for your father. Anyway, I'm not going to do much here because, you know, you're not here for me. You're here for Tongo Eisen Martin, and you're here for Julien Poirier. I do want to point a couple things out, and for that I have to walk away from the microphone. The occasion for this is the belated release reading for Julian's Mansions My Mouth Made, which, are you going to read some of this tonight? Yeah. He will read some of this tonight. It comes in a panoply of colors. There's purple, brown, light brown, gray, green. Anyway, there's a lot of colors. Grab one.
lavender. Like a lilac.
I said purple.
Like a wash.
Is purple not really adequate?
That didn't register for me. Yeah.
It's a lilac or a lavender. What do you call this one? Is this like
That's slate.
olive? Oh, slate. Anyway, Julian is very particular with his words, and he will particularize the language for you when he comes up here. First, Tongo's going to come up and do his thing, but as they were just remembering, these two were both published in the same year by our dear friend Derek Fenner of Bootstrap Press, who is he's in one of the Carolinas for some strange reason. But I hope he's watching tonight, because we want to say, Derek, we love you. And that's part of the reason that these two know each other, I think. And my dad says that we did the release for your Bootstrap book here, which I had forgotten. So that was exciting. And this is exciting. You've been back many more times. And I'm going to stop talking and let you talk.
You don't have to be too close to it. You know, if you're a foot away, it'll be fine. You got him?
Yo, how's this work? Is this
That's it. Sounds good.
right here is cool?
Right there is cool.
Okay. Shit, same year. It was like the same day.
Same day.
We was put out on the same, you know. So this is a crazy circle completed. I'm staring out the window, but this is not my father's depression. Recalling fistfights I had in common with the masses and being stared down by the non-homeless in disgust. Waiting for the ink to dry on small come down, flesh of my flesh, my father died tired of my pain. Cotton comes to the family structure, see me now. A window apparition of a Bantu Pope on the right side of power. Went to my maker only to find God playfully singing, my back will be to you too. Yellow tape horizon, retelling of ambulance found language of soldiers handling the body image or the gist of candlelight. The community is now jumping, throwing Baldwin his books as he sits on the rafters taking requests saying, gather around, I'll set the sun for you. Over outstretched hands of standard incarceration. All street life, to a certain extent, stars fear. Sometimes with a spiritual memory even. Pre-dawn soul clap. Your father dying even. Maybe I've pushed the city too far. My sensitivities to landfill districting and minstrel whistles, white supremacist graffiti on westbound rail cars all overcome and reauthored. Reauthored by revolutionary violence that chose its own protagonists, a muted stage of genius, the garbage is growing voices, condensed Marxism, for warrior depressors, underpasses in their pockets because they just might be deities, a decent bid on the panther name, a merciful Marxism, disquieted home life, a metaphor for relaxing next to a person who is relaxing next to a gun. I'll stare at my father for a few seconds and return to my upbringing. Return to the souls of Ohio black folk. You know, revolution down there pegging at this point, you know what the clown wants. The respect of the ant. Wants to interpret pain only. Wants to pull a 38 out of a begging bowl. Wants me to hurt my hand on this pen. I'm not tired of these rooms. Just tired of the world to give them a relativity. My only change of clothes prosecuted. The government finally learned how to write poems. Shootouts that briefly align. That make up a parable of parables like white bodies are paid well. Do white men even have leaders? Are all white people white men? A rat pictures a river, can almost taste the racial divide, can almost roll a family member's head into a city hall legislative chamber, knows when this good book will fly. I mean, all I do is practice, Lord. Decide not to talk out of anger ever again. Met my wife at the same time I met new audience members for our pain. We passed each other cigarettes and watched cops win the city gone. Uniquely linear, Harlem of the West, do a true universe. I will always remember you in fancy clothes, my wife says. So here I sit, twisting in silk ideation. Rifle made of post-bellum tar. Targets made of an honest language. This San Francisco poetry is how God knows that it's me whining. Riding among the lesser respected wolves. Lesser observed militarization. Dixie list prison bookkeeping. I mean, the California Gray Coats are coming. Lynch mob gossip and bourgeois debt collection is tempting to change professions mid-poem. In the Chicago briefing, the white sergeant saying, blank slate for all of us after this black organizer is dead. Stand academics toast the $2 wine at the tank parade. Baby, of nothing, Lord. Just nuclear cobblestones, gun line, athleticism, and the last of the inherited asthma. Children giving white dolls to play with and fear. Facial expressions borrowed from rich people's shoestrings. I can hear hate and teach hate and call tools by people names and name people dead to themselves. No one getting naturalized except federal agents soon. Carving the equator in the throats. I'm sorry to make you relive all this, Lord. All this pre-dawn monarchy friends putting up politician posters and snorting the man at the pace. Mental scripts shoveled into the walls by the elders. My children sharpen their quarters on the city's edge. For these audiences, I project myself into a ghost-like state. For these gangsters, I do the same. Every now and then, take a nervous look east. Sleep becomes Christ. Sleep starts growing a racial identity. Do you ever spiral, Lord? Has the gang age betrayed us? Be patient with my poems, Lord. There's so much pain, it's a point to crime. I mean, it has to be if race traders come with it. Lord, is that my revolver in your hand? Better presidents than these have yawned at cages. Have called us holy slaves. Filled the school libraries with cop documentaries. Baby, I don't have money for food. Shit. I don't have a present moment at all. I started sleeping on the floor with the art, with the visual world. You know, kill kings, eat thrones, rhythm raisers, hand pulled into an American institutionalization, dragging a century across a tobacco leaf, making the mountain of painkillers a secondary definition. I mean, I've at least fallen around love. Talking about the gun I'm going to bring to the segregation. Avenue Nights is a hospital bar, field of grass on the radiator when we played. I can't make out the system of craft. Falsifying my first solo on this stage on this rickety eneminess. Ladies and gentlemen, here to make some warmongering of your night, adorning my red eyes with a self-inflicted fatherhood over policed eyes. State impressionism bouncing back and forth between skin and ski mask and emotional range of wobbly self-portrait amongst these church giants. Calcified personas present, grown man depression. Scraping cotton against uptown silhouettes, seeing their shadows all manner of bombs. King of the poems, baby. Genuine marvel of the history of poems. The mild bourgeoisie, revolution, street fairs, our weariness. Look out the world from the inside of an ink stroke, a bright lights, lethal injection routine. Last words is my family here. Take all disrespect as the universe in motion. Kicking a hatchet down the street, an object now animated in two poles. America in handwriting like breakfast littered. Fresh faces in the spirit house. Down here, we take every settler colonial decade personally. I would tuck your shirt into the earth. These little fucking societies wander together like hopeful drops of a virus. Citizen testaments bent on offering me a nation of breadwinners to hold me back like it's a Brinks. I wrinkle the concrete sometimes like flesh. My Martin Luther King permanence. Turned away from a podium into the reeds like God is the dangerous twin. Black August to the mountaintop. Balcony on my bedroom floor. You know, they steal you. They steal you from the earth itself. And suspend you in your broken neck from their fullest euphoria. From the loyalty of their gray superstition, loyalty to their agrarian reform, I returned to my mother completely disrespected for peeling the heat off of purgatory that killed poets like me, walked me away from my poems, never to be heard from again in this final industrial complex of bloodlines picked through a sport in spiritual death or your devil, at least half made. Police become a pretty word. I'm reading a lynch mob shoestrings like they were tea leaves, teaching you how to write about cities. It's the 25th century in the mirror, people. Tyranny against your chump change. You're a chump to be mocked, even with a gun in your car. A cubit of needlework spelled tune for the proletariat, the relapse ministry. Talented people curled up in a fetal position next to a diamond, dying. Just another service day in the theatrics of tea house fascism, in a bouquet of surveillance cameras, in the poverty of God, new blue eyes, corpses of water, a newly potted presidency, a one big shiny coin. If you ask an animated capitalism and other non-literal voids, killing is white freedom, the deification of hyphens, medicine bread and picture shows, great protesters in L.A., guests of our ink, drop-kicking roses in the graveyard, D.C. mink like a stone torn in half. The pen advances despite CIA guideposts, despite non-African past and futures. A metaphorical but not surreal day in a horn-ridden life. Horn player improvising king like a radio prize fight featuring Shango himself. A real hand sweeps the land of racism. May I return to the ground. May I make progress with the gun. On our mother Emmanuel, they put on music that evening, a swinging type body language for you to drink with fermented $5 bills. For your body language, some applause, my past stomach lining. Neither a good thing nor a bad thing, like being psychic on the way to a lethal injection. It'll sit you down for Lady Day. Lady Day leading youth who surrendered their souls to Africa too soon. Polity thought floating in the cup of water she saved me, accessing my stomach, accessing the love, the American lynch. Coast leaves with an avalanche into the wrist. Our mother Emmanuel, avalanche to the sharp keys. Pain. What a deal you make with pain. A piano makes sense for them. Laying hands on the world gradually. Addressing the bending necks on the streets of the north. Traveling, sailing in pain, repeating pain. North 10 trigger fingers on that piano of harmony would have me putting 100 fights on every direction offered her. Lady Day leaning on trees again, recruiting the countryside itself, saying, lay your plan out on this lightning. Make your poems a corner pocket of men. I've greeted the blues itself. America may clean my dead body, but will never include me. There goes the poet. Killing without killing. Never mind this little painting of your language. May I be a meaningful lynching. A crow's passing. Good and dead by the afternoon. When the rent is due, poetry is 3/4 useless. I offer you flashbacks of straight A's and expired milk. Half of the apartment building rotating in and out the hospital. 29 years old, begging my father not to return to his cell. History moves poor people too, and our very own voices come and visit us. Our very resolvable frustrations of a softer light stream in which the eye is a beautiful underbelly sometimes, and even unjoined, has a song to play. We are born in captivity, admirers of lightning, talking numbly to God, or even too late, to the ghost of the entire universe. A doomed carpentry, by all accounts. A child looking out the window, counting thorns like flak jackets. Now, first, I should have apologized to the souls of the house, because I'm wearing the cheekbones of the mask only, like a pill bottle whose name is yours, name tagged on the side of a factory of wrist. Teeth of the mask now. Back of the head of the mask now. A new phase of anti-anthropomorphism fending for real faces stuck. One of those cultures that believes I chose this family. I'm not creative, just the silliest of the revolutionaries. My blood drying on my only jacket. The police state psychic middleman evangelizing for the creation of an unmasses and unmedgar blood of a lamb, less racialized or awesome prison sentence, right angle made between the point on the Louisiana plantation and the 5-year-old's rubber ball, 3 feet high and falling like a deportee plane to complete my interpretation of garden variety genocide. I am small talk about loving your enemies a little more realistically about paper tigers. And also, I need my left hand back. Broke my neck on a piano key, found paradise in the fist fight. Maybe I should check into the Cuban line. Watching the universe last metronome, something called Black Jacobins. Just wait. These religions will start resigning in a decade or two. Some colorfully, some transactionally in a cotton Gothic society. Ironically, like class betrayal gone glassless. Ironically, my window started fogging over too as I was trying to figure out which Haiti would get me through the winter, which poem houses souls, which socialist breakthroughs. Breakthroughs like taking 10 steps back and finally trying stillness, like introducing Gabriel Prosser to Thelonious Monk. I remember childhood. I remember the word childhood being a beginning. Scribbling on an amazing grace. I rented this body from some circumference of slavery. Remember being kicked out the Midwest. Strange food theater, lithium in circuses, like-minded stomachs, the ruling class blessing their blank checks with levy foam, with opioid tea, $10 bills yelling to each other, pocket to pocket. Cello stands in the precinct for accompanying counter-revolutionaries. My mother raised me with a simple pain. A poet loses his mind, like the room has weather or first girlfriend gravity. Difference between me and you is the madness wants me forever. A pair of apartments defining both my family and political composure. Books behind my back, bail money paved into the streets, playing Euphoria, Euphoria, Cliche, bracing for the medicine's recoil, sharing a dirty deli sandwich with my friends, Black Jacobins, underground topography of a grandmother's hands, psychology of the mask now. Teeth of the mask again. All right. All right. Thank you.
Hi. Thank you. I think I'm going to use this one. Thank you. I actually meant to ask, is there somebody that could volunteer to hold something up for me at a certain particular time? Thank you. So, I want you, so when I, not when I lie down on the floor, but when I fall down on the floor. I want you to get up and just hold that up so everyone can read it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. A tiny blossom has appeared in Russia by the shores of the Arctic bookstore. What is your counsel, O wicked seraphim? What is your counsel, O wicked seraphim? Crone cocks finger and bares her rotten teeth. Fry up your eggs in some delicious, full-fat honky butter. What? Give me a Marlboro. Last night, my friend blindfolded me and drove me far from home. Take it off, he said, and handed me a comb. We were standing in a graveyard whose grass had not been mown, and in with the crosses, swastikas too. Reversed in shadow by the moon they stood, for luck, but whose? Only whites lie here, he said, and covered his heart with his hand. Comb your hair, they're almost here. And I heard hoofs, but it was only my heart following the law of survival and fleeing on a white horse. To come down, I read the stones by the lightning of the moon. Each name rang a bell, and card by falling card, a church of cards went up in the tall grass among our empty beers. They're almost here. When the editors entered the room, they found Mao sprawled out on the bed, wearing just a pajama jacket with a towel draped around his waist. The bed was piled with books, and he chain smoked as he talked. In the past, I said you people were pedants running the paper. Wrong. I should say you're dead men running the paper. Lying open to the stars, been cut off from them by 3 roofs. Changed my mind to your shape on the road out of here. Some dead ends are valentines to the moon, the way you drop them. Straight, sweet potato, purple gecko grenade. You played it straight. Played it straight for too long. You know what I'll say if anyone ever asks me for advice? Make it up as you go along.
Should I read it to you?
No, don't do that.
Thank you. Thanks, Ron.
How did you arrange the siren at the end?
You gotta have both.
All right. I'm going to do a poem called Forgot Your Debit Card. Forgot your debit card? Forgot your debit card? Forgot your debit card? Oh, forgot your debit card? Oh, thank you. All right, this is called JFK into Nixon. And I liked, when I was a kid, I liked the magicians who would come. And you know how they could like have a glass of water, and they could go like pour the water, and then it would turn into milk? You ever see that before? No. All right, well, I saw that. Yeah, it was amazing. They had a glass of water and then another glass, and you go like into, and it's like water, and then all of a sudden it changes into milk. So I want to do this poem called JFK into Nixon, and it's important. So I want everyone to have JFK's voice in their mind. You know, like, ask not what you can do for your country, but what your country can do for you. Not the other way around, though, right? Right. So that, okay. And then I want you to think about this poem by W.B. Yeats, The Second Coming, right? Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold. And I want you to participate in this poem by just, if you know that poem, just recite that poem in your mind. You know, just recite that poem in your mind in JFK's voice. Okay, and I'm going to also but I'm going to close my eyes. You guys don't have to close your eyes. But okay, so second coming, all right? Starting, let's all do this together, okay? So starting now. Positive intensity! Thank you. All right, so there's a poet named Charlie Plymell who I found this book in 2010 at Moe's Books. It's called Apocalypse Rose, and I'd heard of him before, but I'd never read him before. And this book was really important to me. I didn't know anything about it, and it really, it just blew my mind open. And it particularly the first poem, Apocalypse Rose, you know. And then many years later, I had a chance to interview Charlie. I can't remember how I got in touch with him. And so this is just one question from the interview. So this is in 2017. And I asked Charlie, I've been reading a book called Stolen Continents by the Canadian historian Ronald Wright. And one of his key points is that Cortez and the other conquistadors were coming out of a society that had been at war for 700 years. Their cynicism and brutality were byproducts of endless war. Would you agree that North American culture has been undergoing its own version of that disfigurement since 2001? Or do you disagree, or does it go much further back than that? And Charlie said, in part, the disfigurement is old as a human genome of sadness, when the first human form picked up a dead leaf or skull. The psychological trauma of the unknown has manifested itself through history and religions to our modern times. Our politics are much the same. Rode out to the Oregon Trail Party and told them they could come over to Mormon lands for safety from Indians and then killed them all while they slept. The movie version of this, which is called The Oregon Trail from 1939, has a handsome man, Hollywood casting looking like one of Mitt Romney's sons. Our history is made up of fairly recent terrible things, like the black heroes in World War I being rounded up in back of a pickup and murdered. Seems like they'd observed that as well on Martin Luther King Day. Killing buffalo for sport, as well as the Indians. For example, the raid at Sand Creek, near where I was born, of Black Kettle's band, who had gotten a flag from the president who said it would protect them. The Methodist minister and mob rolled through, killing women and children when the men were hunting. They trampled baby skulls with horse hoofs, cut out the women's vaginas for saddle horn decoration, and cut off their tits to sew together and sell as purses, souvenirs on Turk Street in SF. Wherever you look, humans didn't work out. It runs deep from poetry to wheat. The CIA started the poetry workshops like Iowa, where I read once. Alan told me the CIA set up Naropa. Crime is pervasive anywhere you look. Before I ever talked to Charlie, I wrote this poem. So this is back in like 2009 or so. It's called 3 Shots of Charles Plymell. He came from nowhere with ease, carving little statues in dial soap. A green wheelchair, how tears get down my face. You wouldn't want to fall into the cigarette hole in the seat, though, unless you had no obligation to anything but his poem. And even then, you can go voice blind, he said, the whiskey droplets splitting and shattering in midair. That's what's known as camouflage. He brought out some pictures of kids in chartreuse and cobalt blue and magenta camouflage, young kids. They're hiding from the stork. Sent to the airline complaint department, there were numbers in the margins, 3 on each, triangles knocked out of the frame, official documents. He was very insistent that I see. It was strange and I hesitated. This is not a fucking game, he said. Did you think it was? Imagine you're at a party and everyone is drunk and this man shows up. No one's ever seen him before. And if there are different degrees of drunk, there are different degrees of sober. And this man is about as sober as you can get before blacking out. There's this weird glow to him, like he's just hypnotized an oil rig with a grade school recorder. A gently cycling magnetism that neutralizes all other masculinity in the room until he's the only man there. 4 years before I was born, riding the LIRR to a job interview, cute and glum, neckties stable in archaic graffiti, frost on rails in the switchyard. When he pulls out the discolored stack of pictures, declaiming, jabbing at the livid bruises on the kids' bodies, hunted, jabbing at their running sores, their lesions, burnt skin, institutional white building on the forest edge, arrived at the complaint department, this one, look! And when you say nothing, the man turns on you with this chillingly screwed down loathing, this panic, and says, wait, do you think this is a game? Now listen to me carefully. You don't have time to finish that drink. I'm very proud of this book that Nick and I made together. The day in the suburbs when we were trying on scarf after scarf, and you said, great poets disappear, that's what they do. And ebullient in a spangled souk. That day, you inspired me to stop going around saying how dumb people are. You made me want to forget people can be dangerous. You showed me friends can turn into enemies and made me wonder if I should be scared. You turned me into a mime, playing with fake obstacles, then gave birth to me. Sorry, that was overdramatic. You turned me into a mime, playing with fake obstacles, so I'd learn not to hold myself back. I looked up the god of crying, because life's a weird bird, and my grandfather's ghost is by my side. My best friend lost his mind. In the storm drain in the gutter, the prompter waves his arms. Mistakes I live with that no one noticed, hardly. Or maybe forgot all about. Oh, I doubt it. All that big crap doesn't count. I already paid. Things work out as often as they don't, and don't you forget it. I know I won't. We missed our chance. Slow dissolve or clean breast. Caution makes you dumb. Walk backwards, picking up crumbs. Soon you'll have a whole loaf. The pilot in the cockpit is sterile, but beautiful. Flowers grow from his knuckles. You find them on the floor after prom, or incongruously breaking up at 10,000 feet. Coming at the clouds from below. Aren't they frozen steam? I'm going to read one more poem and then we're going to do a song and that's going to be it. That sounds good. All right. Actually, I should take a sip of water. Going 80 down Highway 80 in my 1942 Rolls Royce. to reconnoiter with my lawyer at a restaurant of his choice. I got the lowdown on your nightgown and how it came to be, flapping from a backhoe in Netanyahu's backyard in the winds off Galilee. I attacked my favorite clam dish and dragged it through the ranch dip as my lawyer snapped a drip can off the vine of an IV. I knew that I could trust him, although it was my custom to grow a second nose for hidden fees. One eye pierced, the other shuddered, one hand plucked, the other buttered. And through a wall of falling water, we watched a blind man getting hotter, and the studly rabbi walk his otter, past our grotto rail, down Venice to the gold dust roaches, drawing sainted sailors in apple core coaches along the rubber quay. I'm sad to say they plan to sue, my lawyer said, and then he drew a face on a napkin that could have been you, except his drawing skills were few. It's hard to picture that he drew that. I wonder if you'd really do that, or if it was your genie double rounding out black magic's Hubble telescope in a soap bubble upon a scalding sea choked with shampooed tomahawks and bubble-wrapped bubonic fleas. Yes, it must have been the bathtub djinn who took your soul out for a spin and snorted the lipstick off the shin of a sharkskin mummy with a fin. I bit into a gummy worm and dreamed you were inside my rolls, beating all the proles tolls, painting grass blades black as night like an Incan queen in silver flight. Should we do this? All right.
That's cool. Sure. This is called the Spice Root Song. Oh, does someone want to shake the tambourine? Give me an E minor. Well, spice root flat for a long while. The murderers hid where the stories grew. The camels slept just like a jigsaw town. Moonlight hacking at a white nightgown. Roll 6 black marbles on a Chinese board. Throw suicide kings with banded ears. Hang bandoliers like gazelles on horns. Storms folding in and mutinies warm. They're searching for the nail of a dragon slaying sea. Cutting up dog days like the superstitious flea. Holding up the torches on the broken trail. Cutting off faces to patch their sails. Peeking arrows round the lip of a beer. They see the damsels smoke like bloody spears. Bus driver tall. Famine plucks a rib cage and an impassable wall.
skirts like a glass of stout. Shuffling satin at the Half Moon Court. The meadow cranes out in the junkyard dome. Kings playing pinball with the heads up hound. Whoa, 6 black marbles on a Chinese board. Throw suicide kings with bended ears. Hang bandoliers like gazelles on horns. Storms folding in and mutinies warm. Storms folding in and mutinies warm. Thanks, guys. All right. Well, that was fucking fun. It was so good. It was so good to fucking read with you again, man. All right.
More kazoo next time.
More kazoo?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep it in mind. Oh, who's New York Nights?
Oh yeah, yeah. You got that.
Yeah, you got. If anyone wants copies of that of our newspaper, well, it's a magazine. We're selling that for $5. It's really, really great. It's got Garrett in it. It's got Ashley Escobar, Aaron Comet Bus, all sorts of good stuff. Woo.